you mentioned this in your research note, Russia being almost, the government being almost like a Russian doll, a matryoshka.
Yes.
The inside is a technocrat, kind of Western thinking, but the outside, the first doll, is this strong man, macho, military might kind of feel. Which Putin are we going to get the next 6 years?
Basically, what we will have the next 6 years, it will be an attempt to build a coalition government of two big parts of Russian bureaucracy. There is one part represented by many members of the government, by the head of central bank, by the Ministry of Economic Development, that continues to see Russia as a modern post-industrial country, substantially linked with global financial system, with global economy, building this economy on the globally compatible digital platforms. And there is another part of Russian bureaucracy, not just slightly more militaristic in how they view in their worldview, but they see the economy as a big factory, not especially as a big weapon factory, but of course it is too, but it's a big factory, and it is kind of old Soviet-style industrial economy. And the representative of both are Putin's base and allies inside the political class, inside the bureaucracy. So he will try to combine these two basically incompatible layers of the bureaucracy to relaunch the economic growth. His idea is to relaunch the economic growth.
Russia is still enslaved to oil. Nebulina, the Russian central bank governor, says even if oil was at $100 a barrel, you'd still see GDP growth 1.5 to 2%. What reforms are needed then?
Basically, it is bounded to oil, but not. There are other countries that are bound even more. So it's kind of 50% of Russian GDP produced from oil. Of course, he needs economic reforms, and of course, he scares to start the program of large economic reforms, because when you are starting the large program of economic reforms after 18 years of power, it's kind of
too late.
Yes, it's too late. It's not serious. You cannot just step out and say, guys, after 18 years in power, I start large program of economic reforms. But he understands he needs something to do with corruption on every level. On the everyday level, corruption is we have less corruption than before, than 15 or 10 years ago. But on a high level corruption, it still exists. Then something with bureaucracy, something with the fact that the economy becomes more and more state-owned. And his address that impressed so much with the weapon examples, he had this idea of decreasing the degree of state ownership in the economy. So basically, he didn't use the word privatization because it's not popular among Russians, but it's something about this. He thinks about this. But of course, we cannot say what steps exactly he will be able to undertake to do.